Hey guys, it's Tuesday afternoon and we have another Speedway Chat show. Here's my co-host, Charlesy.
Were you about to say here's my host, Charlesy?
Was I?
Oh, Jezza. I don't know, mate. Good afternoon, everyone. Fine sunny Tuesday afternoon, and I think by the pre-show backstage, I think we're having a barrel of laughs tonight on the show. It's gonna be funny, I think.
I think it is. We have had a few comments about who we have on, and some people who are pretty alert have actually commented the correct answer for once, which is good. So I think we go straight in. Oh, what's going on there? You all good?
My wife's about to do a stir fry. Anyway, it's going to be a bit hectic here, but just quickly, thanks to everyone that engaged on the Darcy video. By far the best show we've had to date, over 26,000 views, which surpassed any expectation. So thanks to everyone. Had most comments, most shares, most likes, most views, and some really good feedback. It was a barrel of laughs, and been in contact with Darcy a couple of times. He really enjoyed it. So so really big thanks to you guys. Tonight's show, we're steering a bit off the rider side, aren't we? I think I know what's going on behind there. We're steering off a bit from the rider side and trying to get an insight into Club Speedway, Team Great Britain Speedway, all things Speedway, with two of the most, I guess,
biggest characters in the sport.
The biggest team managers, and barrel of laughs. If you support their teams, you've cried, you've been happy, you've been sad, you've been frustrated. They are, of course, Middlo and Rosco.
Rosco wants to go that side.
Here
he is.
Oh, God. Go on.
May the force be with you.
Oh.
Wait, he's got sound effects too. Oh, it looks like he's froze.
Hurry! Get ready to turn those clankers into scrap metal. Cover me!
We
We've
will
had this
just
for like
say,
40 minutes.
yeah. We will just say that Middlo's internet is a bit intermittent, so apologies in advance if he cuts in and out. But thank you, guys. Thanks for coming and having a chat.
Good evening, gents. How are we?
We're okay. Look, we'll start with obviously the question, the COVID-19. It's affected obviously every single club in Speedway, no doubt yours. Start with you, Rosco. What have you been up to and during this, and do you see a season getting underway?
I got to be honest. Some days I think, it's going to happen, and then another day I think, it's not. But I've always been an avid believer in the fact is we're 3 weeks behind everybody. I'm being serious now for about 2 minutes. Is that all right?
2 minutes.
For 2 minutes. We're 3 weeks behind everybody, and I believe by the end of May, the first week of June, we'll get a clear idea of where we're going, really, in my opinion, and whether there's a chance or that. But at the end of the day, we're guided by the government. Until the government gives us what we can do, we can't do nothing. And people are getting frustrated and getting animated, saying, "Oh, what's this and that?" Until we know that what guidance we got from the government, we can't do nothing. Everybody knows about as much as we do.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating. I guess for you as well, not being one of the most sponsored team managers, you might have had to work in between Speedway anyway, unlike Middlo.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm like Middlo's got so many sponsors on his shirt. I've been out back on the lorries, driving, delivering new trucks and stuff like that. And it's a bit of a culture shock.
and Middlo down in sunny Sturminster, Marshall. What have you been getting up to, and communication with the boys on a daily, weekly basis as well, just to see what's going on? There's
Well,
that
Yeah,
connection.
I'm in touch with most of the boys at the moment, mate. To be fair, I was talking to Josh McDonald today, and yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just a bit intermittent.
My internet is so shit.
If your connection was as good as your props in the background.
My internet's so shit, I'll tell you.
The richest man in Dorset, and he can't get any internet, eh?
Clearly doesn't have an internet
Mate, it's shit.
sponsor.
It's absolutely shit. I can't get nothing.
If anybody like to sponsor Neil with
No.
us, please go to Bailey House.
No.
Bailey House.
But no, hey, listen, yeah. But no, it's tough. It's really tough. It's tough.
Jesus.
Just have a drink, Neil. Just have a drink.
Yeah.
We'll carry on.
Hang on. One of your team members has just messaged in, actually, Middlo. He reckons he was having a guess at who was on. Jerry, do you have it? Oh, there we go. It's a one Brady Kurtz. Hang on.
Do you want to be in my gang?
No.
Want to be in my gang?
Oh, yeah.
Never right. Never.
Oh God, yeah, I can see it.
I can see it.
Well, Rosco, whilst you're there and got internet connection in sunny Swindon,
and we can communicate with you.
A question. Obviously, you and Middlo done Team GB. You've done the best of British Speedway in terms of winning titles. Is there a rider that you haven't managed that you would have wanted to manage?
I've been quite lucky, really. I've managed quite a few of the top boys. That's a tough one. I've rode with Lee Adams. I've rode with Jason Crump, Tony Rickardson.
Name dropper.
You know, been with a name dropper. Okay. I heard that one, right? Heard that one. You know, obviously, I've been involved with Emma a few times and that. So, you know, I'm very privileged to, you know, ridden and been a part with these guys and bringing them up. You know, like Lee used to live with me, Jason lived with me, not in that respect before Middlo jumps in, but they've been involved and you know with some really sort of top boys. So I feel very privileged, and when I get criticised, I think when people want to have a dig at me and say that, and I just think, well, if I was that bad, do you think these guys would want me around them? You know, just answers his own question, really, doesn't it?
I don't know.
Don't have a dig at you, Rosco.
Oh, Middlo, you don't. You're the best.
Middlo, the same question for you. Is there anyone that you wish you could have in your team that you haven't had in the team?
Wait.
I think he's going to go and get another beer.
Hang on. He's on the phone. What's that, Gib?
He's got.
Speedway Chat Show. No, on Facebook. Speedway Chat Show, Gibby.
Yeah, you
Bye.
You get better connection on the phone.
Yeah, every word of that.
Yeah.
Oh God. How about you? Go on, Jerry.
No, nothing. Carry
I
on.
just spent a fortune trying to get my internet.
We Jerry, you can't not talk. I just had 5 minutes of Rosco giving grief to me about how much I talk, because I said he would talk too much if he come on the show. So he's your biggest fan right now.
Okay, cool. Let's go with some stories then. I have got some stories from some people. I have put out a few messages to a few friends, and yeah. So let's see. No, let's see if you can guess. Let's see if you can guess who sent me this message. So apparently in the 96-97 Sprocket team, John Jeffrey's girlfriend's 21st birthday at David Broom's house got an adult-sized bouncy castle. and apparently you jumped off the roof onto the side of the bouncy castle and nearly landed in next door's garden.
Oh, very true, very true.
Yeah, I was sent that one
Have
earlier.
you ever seen the video where they sort of jump on a bouncy castle with a kid? I think I would have sent him about 3 gardens down the road.
Yeah.
Oh, we just had Brady Kurtz in the comments as well. All the Wi-Fi signal goes to his room, he reckons.
Yeah, that's probably right. I'm gonna go turn it off.
Maybe you should go up there. Oh, funny.
Brilliant.
I do remember that. That was funny that day at Broomies Ace.
Yeah, they drain it, those boys.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. Three stories up.
Middlo, sit forward. You seem to sound better then.
He can't.
Right. So apparently this person's old man flicked fag ash in a healing scar and told you that it would make it heal better.
Oh, Lee Kilby. I'd done the ice speedway we went out to the Middle East with Graham Jury and Ian Thomas and Simon Cross. We were all doing demonstration rides and we never had no guards on the bikes. So we're on the ice speedway bikes, only with the self-tappers in, and all of a sudden Crossy's starting to get a bit cocky and start flicking around. All of a sudden, I get my leg stuck in Crossy's back wheel. And I end up went through my levers and my boot and everything. And all the Arabs are watching anything. And I crashed on the ground and I got my leg stuck. I'm trying to pull it out. And the next minute, there's this massive pool of blood on the ice rink. And all the Arabs have just gone absolutely mental. They go, yeah! And,
like it's a team deathmatch.
Yeah. And but to come back to that, yeah, we did a trip. I did the disco on the ice speedway tour on the boat from Felixstowe to Harwich, something like that. No, Harwich over to Holland or somewhere, and I did the disco. And we were on the old bus from Swindon, and I just had my leg all wrapped up. And Bob Kilby used to smoke roll-ups and like that, and he'd go, just drop it on there. So that'll make it better.
I did. Guys, we get this question every time, and we've never asked a guest on the show. But a young lady from Glasgow, Mary Alice, keeps messaging. Have either of you seen the Glasgow Tigers in red film that Glasgow Tigers made last season?
No, I haven't. Sorry, Roscoe. Yeah, I haven't. I've heard everybody comment on it. I must have it. I actually have an affinity for Glasgow because one of the first teams I ever rode for, believe it or not, Glasgow.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, I think. I started to watch it, but so there you go, Mary Alice. What about you, Roscoe? You seen it or?
No, again, I've been out sort of driving and bits and bobs and trying to tidy up the place here at the moment. So, but I've heard some very good reports, and we all know how professional the Glasgow Tigers are in what they do. They do a fantastic job up there, and they certainly set the bar for everybody to, follow them, in fairness.
Yeah, I spent a year up there. I think it was 2007 with Watto. Parker was in the team, and we were still living in Newport, so we used to make the journey up there, and the club put on, the hotel the night before. We used to go indoor snow skiing up there. Thoroughly enjoyed the year up there. Took me about 6 months to understand the fans in terms of their strong Scottish accent, but what a year it was.
And they still don't understand a word you say.
Hey, welcome back, Jerry. And I tell you what, they certainly know how to knock a long neck or two back after the meeting. Used to be an interesting drive home. Don't drink and drive, kids. Say no. It was a fantastic year up there. Glasgow, great club, very, very passionate as well. Yeah, I think we lost Middlo in his time.
Midlow's gone for a drink or something. I don't know where he is, but hopefully he'll come back in a second. So we have got another one for you here, Roscoe. You could always ask him about the time it kicked off in the pits at Aussie versus GB meeting down under. Roscoe avoided the carnage as he didn't fancy scrapping with one of his heroes Phil Crump.
And I was staying with him as well at the same time. Oh, that's better, Middlo.
Oh man,
There we go.
That would have been from Gary Havelock. He always keeps going on about that.
No,
Unless
that
I'm
was
wrong.
also Lee Kilby.
Oh, you've got
Oh, right.
internet now, Midlo. On that side, that side's better. Hang on.
Yeah, stay that side, Middlo.
There he
this
is.
side or this side?
Yeah.
Now
Is that
stay
better?
where you are.
Stay where you are.
Gary, stay that side.
I'm here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Midlo, you want
What is this?
What's going on now?
Oh, there we go.
Someone's got dial-up internet. Here we go.
That's not
So,
me.
yeah, it was the 87-88 Australian tour of. Are you there still?
Yep.
Yeah, we're listening.
Oh, you listen. Yeah, it was 87-88, and there was a massive fight in the pits. Phil Crump had an alternation with Sean Wilson, Sean Wilson, and obviously I was Swindon, being a Swindon lad, and Phil Crump's always one of my heroes. And the next minute, it's all kicked off, and I'm sat at the fence talking to Phil's wife. Well, it's all going like nuts, and I thought, well, I'm not going to go in there and start fighting me legend, am I?
That's true. We've also got another one here about a time when you're showing Tony Rickardson around the Dolphin pub.
Is there any children on here?
I don't know, but I know the story. I don't think you should tell it. I think you should just guess who told me that one.
Is it Leslie? Well, it was all about Leslie Vinter, Jimmy Nielsen's old mechanic, and a couple of other mechanics. And I sort of showed him around the room, and Leslie had a magazine on top of him. That's all I'll say.
I got no sound.
No, we can hear you, Charlesy. You're all good.
Can you guys hear me? No.
I can hear you, Charles.
Yep.
Yeah. I can hear
Yeah,
you.
Sometimes wish we couldn't, but we can. Go ahead, talk. Why is he not? Can he not hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Middlo. Let's get
Charlesy.
on then. Yeah, we've done Charlesy out. Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Charlesy, go out and come back in. So, how about that?
1, 2.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, we can hear you perfect. He just can't hear
Can I hear you,
us.
Charlesy? I can hear you, Charlesy.
Right, he'll come
he's
back in
gone.
a second. He'll come back in a second. So let's go back to you then, Midlo. For before, when you had really crap signal, was there anybody that you would have liked to have managed that never got the opportunity to? As like
I think,
running.
like Rosco, I've been really lucky. I've managed some of the greatest riders ever. I consider in my era. But I think Emil was a guy I don't really know him that well. Every time I've met him, he's been a lovely, lovely guy, and I think he'd probably be the one that I would like to work with.
He is a dream
Yeah.
to work with.
Yeah,
He's pretty intelligent.
he seems such a nice. Yeah, he seems a nice guy. Nice guy. Now his English is good. He seems a really nice guy.
Before when his English was bad, he didn't seem so nice.
It was rubbish.
No, but it's obviously difficult to communicate. I mean, you can see his demeanour. He's a nice guy, but he really is a nice guy. I think he would probably be the one that I would be nice to work with.
I was fortunate with Torrent.
What's that?
I was fortunate at Torrent last year, and I'd been with him a couple of times at Cardiff before, but listening to him at Torrent, and his intelligence is just unbelievable, and things he was saying, what he was doing was just unbelievable. Things that I'd think this is what you would do, and this he was actually doing stuff, and it just pretty mind blowing, really.
Yeah, I after was it Torrent? Might have been. I think it was Torrent Grand Prix 2 years ago. I was in Bydgoszcz with Ashley Holloway, Emil, and Doyley, and I got to sit down for the whole afternoon and just chat speedway and life and things like that. And it was the first time I really spoke to him. And he's a thinker for sure. Like everything's calculated, and he's not just some of the boys, like we had the Turbo Twins on. They sort of just went out, had fun, and it all happened, and it was all good. And speaking to Emil, he's had a lot going on that's to deal with his family and things like that, and yeah, he's super professional, which is he's a credit.
That's
That's
a good thing about him. You know, he doesn't just think about it's about riding the bike. You know, he's ahead of the game. He's thinking about the engine and certain aspects and stuff like that. It's just you can just see he's just he's a very intelligent fella.
But I think the whole thing about speedway, the modern day speedway now, is that everybody is so professional. I mean, obviously when Rosco rode, we were professional, but these guys now, they've taken it to another level. And I think Tony Ricardson probably started that trend.
Yeah.
With his big motorhome, everybody, AJ, Lee. But I think Tony sort of set the bar. I mean, I've Major back in the early days. I mean, he was a pioneer as well. But I think that now, you have to work hard. I mean, Doyley's a prime example, I think, because I worked with Doyley in his early career. He had trouble with his shoulder, and he was a loose cannon. Let's be honest. But he knuckled down. He lost weight. He trained hard, and he became world champion. And he deserved that because he worked so hard to get there. And that's what you have to do now. It doesn't come to you. You get the natural riders, the Darcy Wards, the Michael Lees, who don't have to try. But I think that nowadays you have to really try if you want to be a great rider. And what's at stake these days with the money in Poland, it's a big deal now. It's a big deal. It's like rugby. Years and years ago, you were big fat guys running down. Now these guys can do 100 meters in 14 seconds or whatever. Yeah. They're professionals, and that's what speedway has become. It's gone to another level.
Yeah, Middlo, just on that, I think on last week's show we spoke about that, and Joe mentioned it, because when you look at Chris and Darcy in particular, because they were on last week's show, Middlo,
that Monster Joe.
Yeah,
Monster Joe, that guy, yeah.
Yeah, Monster Joe noticed the difference in the attitude of particularly Darcy from, where being loose kid to hang on a minute, I can win it. But I guess the question is, does it change and does it put too much pressure, and do they do things they wouldn't normally do?
Do you know what? I think with Darcy, I mean, I worked with Darcy for a number of years. Obviously, everybody knows he lived here with me and everything. And he was a loose cannon, let's be honest. I mean, he's caused me more trouble than my kids ever. But he was a great. And when he went to Swindon, I always remember when he went to Swindon, I was a bit pissed off about it, And I remember
I can tell you a good story in a minute.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But so we're having a couple of beers, and he knows I'm a bit pissed off. And he said to me, Middlo, he said, I've only changed teams. I've not changed families. And I went, okay, that's cool. But it's tough. And then I think that sadly, just before his accident, he'd actually got his shit together. He was dieting. He couldn't cook anything when he first came to the UK. When he lived here, Susie, my wife, she cooked for him every night. But then he came back and he was cooking like salmon and tomatoes and salads and eating really, really healthy, working really, really hard. And he was absolutely, I mean, he was going to be the best. I mean, I'm sad to say, I mean, I love Darcy to pieces, and I spoke to Tony Ricardson, Darcy, and he said, this kid's special. And sadly, we never got to see him fulfill that. But, there we go.
Yeah. Go on, Roscoe. Stories better than any question.
I mean, just going back to what Middlo said about Darcy, I was fortunate, sadly or fortunately, to be the last person he rode for. And I remember we went to Coventry one night, and the first meeting, Darcy's come back. We're at Coventry, got a massive crowd, and Darcy's having trouble with his carburettor, and he would not go. We're getting badgered by the clerk of the course, pits marshal and all that. Come on, Roscoe, get Darcy out on parade. He's got to go out on parade. And Darcy was struggling with his carburettor, and he said, I ain't going out until I get this freaking right. And I tell you what, if you watch the last meeting at Coventry with Swindon and just watch how good he was, it was just, you see, like Middlo says, he was just a completely different guy, totally different guy.
Yeah.
But there was a better one than that. Before this was all kicking off, my boss was in America with Neil, and they were having, I think Matt was getting married, Matt Ford, and there was a couple of other people over there. And Terry rung me up and he said, I've sorted the Darcy deal out. I said, oh, fantastic. And he said, got a bit of a problem with Middlo at the moment. He's not speaking to me. And they're all in the same room as well. He said, he spat his dummy out a little bit. And he said, I think Matt's going to go and have a quiet word in his ear in a minute. He said, 'cause it's getting quite tough at the moment. in fairness to Middlo, he was pretty upset about it.
Got a young kid by the name of Brady with a pretty serious question. Middlo, is it true you won the National League Riders Championship? He can't remember what year it was, but this kid's good on his facts.
I ask Middlo the question every year.
I might have a trophy in here somewhere.
I think Jerry, do we have the photo?
That's a standing joke. The right of
that one.
Oh, that stitches me up. Oh, that's gold. Was that the year he won it? Was that an Eastbourne bib on Middlo?
Yeah, the right of that's a UK bib, isn't it? I think. I can't remember. I can't even see the picture. I can't see the picture. I can't see it.
There we go.
But that's the right passage. You come and live with me at the Bailey House. You have to watch. Yeah, yeah. You have to live, and there you go. Oh, nice hair. Yeah, that's nice.
Which trophy did you win, Middlo? Which trophy was it?
I was 16.
Tony and Guy.
1985. Yeah.
Hey, if your Brady's on, look. Charlesy, have a check of this one out. Charlesy, have a look at that. Ask Brady who else won this trophy.
I can't see you. I think your screen's a bit blurry, Ross. Just pull it back a bit towards you.
It's a go-karting trophy, is it?
No.
No.
Brady Kurtz has won the same trophy.
Rickard Helson.
Can't give it away. Suspense is killing me.
In the world, yeah?
It's the Johnny Hoskins Memorial at Newcastle Motordrome.
No, Johnny Hoskins was run at Gosford.
No, it wasn't. At Newcastle Motordrome, mate.
Who won that?
Not Johnny Hoskins. Hoskins Solo International first, 1988, Newcastle International Motordrome.
Right, that was
the Brady, who's on the trophy.
Yeah, that was the year, Roscoe, where all the real riders turned up at Gosford, and you turned up at the Motordrome.
What, Bobby Schwartz?
Yeah.
Craig Watson?
Oh, okay, Roscoe. Craig Watson.
Do you want me to drop a few more?
Craig Watson's on that trophy, isn't he?
I don't know. That's my own private one, but Brady's got my name because Brady FaceTimed me and showed me the thing. He said, "Your name's on this trophy."
Yeah. The Johnny Hoskins Memorial. I remember it was a handicap system.
Not in '88. It wasn't. It was all from the start.
Yeah, they
had
changed
a semi-final. They had a semi-final. I only got 6 points in the meeting. Then I had to go into a B final, and then I qualified from that. And I had about fourth pick, and then I had gate one. I was gone. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Not really, mate.
We've got a photo of you here, Alan.
F and J days. Yeah, Rickard Helson.
Yeah.
Nice and white.
I know there's going to be some horrendous ones coming out. I can feel it later on. Certainly on the ice speedway.
So
I haven't got any of those.
Oh yeah.
No.
You haven't got the naked. You haven't got me on the naked one round Telford at 1 o'clock in the morning. Then.
No. Why did no one send me these messages?
I was expecting that to come on. And the funny thing, there was a cleaner there, a woman at the top. She thought it was her birthday.
We got Gary Phelps has said, "I've never seen a ginger mullet." That's from.
Oh, mate. Hey, I had it going on. It was lovely.
And now it's down here.
Yeah.
Middlo, you said Darcy caused you the most trouble at Bailey House. Who was the? Another change of hats. Who was the? Who was the most polite rider you've had stay at Bailey House? Just wait for that to get the Dorset.
The most polite rider? Oh, Jesus,
yeah.
That's awkward. Probably Leon Madsen, to be fair, in the early days. Leon Madsen. Yeah, I think he was very polite. I think to
Yeah.
start with, and then
we heard
Darcy
that
and
he
him
was,
weren't the greatest of friends. That was the fire extinguisher incident when Darcy
Yeah.
chased him with the fire. Say again, Jerry.
Okay, you know, that's what I was going to bring up, the fire extinguisher comment. That's what I was going to say.
Go
Anyway.
on, Jerry. I know we got
Say again, Jerry. I
photos.
missed it, man.
No, I was going to bring up the fact about the fire extinguisher chasing him around the garden. Poor bloke. We have somebody else has told us a story about another story about Roscoe. Ask him about throwing a firecracker in the pit at the truck depot. Not sure his old boss knows he did it to this day. I'll make sure he's listening. The bang scared the living shit out of everyone.
I just got hold of I had these days, a bit like Middlo. Middlo, when we used to go to the last meeting at Reading and stuff like that, Middlo was like a little pirate technician, like setting rockets off, bangers off from the pits, like stars and all that. Anyway, I used to get hold of these little scarecrow little bangers, and I had one, I lit one, and I just dropped one, and I dropped it in a garage in my own place, and the echo was unbelievable. So I took one into work at Cooper's one day, and they've got it's like a haulage yard where they repair all the trucks. And this day it was really cold, all the doors were shut, and there's 6 pits. So there was a few guys underneath the trucks. So and they were long, because obviously you got to get a 40-foot trailer in. So I casually lights one up, drops one at this end, and then walks off. Well, when it went off, I still cry about it now. Honestly, you thought the whole building had blown up. And I just never forget my boss coming out. If I find out who's done that, you're going to get the freaking sack. It was the loudest boom ever. Honestly, I still cry about it now. It was just like, because you drop it into a pit, and it's just the echo and the thing, and honestly, you thought a bomb had gone off. I'll never forget that the rest of my life.
Have you ever cried on live TV, Roscoe?
Yeah, a few times.
Okay, cool. Just asking.
2012 at Poole, with my old mate alongside me.
Yeah. Here's a great question, actually, John Mark and Roscoe. How did winning the league with the Bees in 10, and then you won a couple of years later with Swindon, how do they both compare?
Oh, obviously getting the monkey off my back, because I started at Swindon in 2004, and then I left at the end of 2009, and I'd hit the crossbar a few times. So to go there and win it was very special. And in the circumstances, I know there was a bit of blood, but fortunately, me and Neil stayed good friends over it. There was a lot of politics going on, a lot of arguments, but I got to say, that was a pretty special night in 2010 when we saw Bomber run over by Lewis Bridger and that, and see what happened. That no, it was just, but everybody forgets when Bomber got run over. If you watch the replay, the race after with Chris Holder and Bomber had just literally been run over, and like they passed each other twice, and then Bomber just did the cutback on the line and won the rerun. In the next, it was just unbelievable. But obviously, it was very special Coventry, and the first one's always going to be special. But to get the 45-year monkey off our back at Swindon, and obviously being from Swindon, was pretty much as special. But they're both up there. You're never going to take my day away at what I had at Coventry. I think it's just the fact with all the shenanigans that went on and all the arguments kind of just tainted it a little bit. But at the end of the day, it was still unbelievable what happened. And they're both up there.
Oh,
talking
God.
of monkeys on people's backs,
Yeah, go on.
this one of Batch.
I knew that was going to come.
What's going on here, Roscoe?
Oh, God.
That would have been
a modelling shoot.
Brace yourself, I'm coming in dry.
I'm coming in dry.
Sorry,
got it
sorry
better.
for any kids watching.
Yeah, no, just a bit of a motivational speech. That would have been Batch's pre-petulant days.
That like Ross Midlo, don't apologise. All that means is Roscoe didn't have his wetsuit on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So we've got one here from Mark Phillips from Plymouth.
Oh dear.
He said, "Good evening, guys. Had the pleasure of managing Roscoe at Trelawney Tigers in 2012. Great racer, great
2002.
attitude." That's what I meant. I just said something different. Well done on your achievements, Alan.
I got to say, I remember riding down at Trelawney. That was one of the best racetracks I've ever ridden on. It was just so different, and I went in there and guested. I stood in for Simon Stevens. Simon Stevens got injured, and I stepped in for 5 weeks, and I think the lowest score I got there was 11 points. It was truly amazing, and looking at the blue pond behind it.
Yeah, I was going to say that the drive in, wasn't it? The
and you just look like it's got this chemical in it or whatever it's got in it. It was just amazing, but it was just truly an amazing. I rode there with Matty Zagar.
Yeah, that's right. I went to Trelawney once. Sorry, I went to Trelawney once, and I drove there and thought, "What is this place?" But yeah, it was unique for sure, 100%.
It was like on the moon, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of comments coming on about Midlo's hats. Yes, everyone, he is the world's most sponsored team manager. He will have 1,000 hats there to wear tonight. So that's what that's all about. Also, Chris Hill, I like this one, Jerry. Can you find a couple up? Chris Hill used to have bets at the New Inn how soon Roscoe would be on TV at a Grand Prix. I think people used to have bets on me on that as well.
Yeah, you were the king of that, Charles, weren't you?
I was pretty good at that. Yeah.
Cheers, Chris.
Yeah. Oh, gold. Do you remember your first time you made it, Roscoe?
Made it where?
On TV at a Grand Prix.
Yeah, a couple of times. I did. I can remember a time you made it as well too. But we can't really say about that.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. You're back, row.
But yeah, no, there's been a few. I think was one of the first person to crash on Sky TV. There was the lovely Susie Perry interviewing me.
Susie Perry.
And you was the first
you were, Roscoe,
when
you crashed.
I didn't crash. I got knocked off. And my friend
Susie
Ronnie
Perry.
Allen,
I have a great story. Yeah.
He has a great story. He's just not going to tell us
about Roscoe. Because people, I've actually managed Roscoe for a couple of years. I'm going to tell it. So I remember we stood at the first corner. I'm stood next to Tony Ricardson, and we're watching the race. Roscoe comes round. All of a sudden, he hits the fence, and it hits it so hard. I look at Tony. Oh, fuck me, that hurt. And so anyway, Roscoe comes in the pits, and he's hurt his knee. And Roscoe, I need you in the next race. So I said, come on, do star jumps, Roscoe. So he's doing star jumps in the pits, and we say, right, get out in the next race. And he's got out in the next race. He's got down to the third corner, and he's fallen off. And of course, Roscoe, no disrespect, Roscoe, little showman, lay there. We've run down and got Lars Pinnestad's bike that you were riding. And poor Roscoe, hey, you trashed your knee, didn't you, man? Absolutely trashed it.
Got the scar.
And we thought it was just like a little muscle pull, but Roscoe really did some bad damage to that knee.
There you go. Look, there's the scar.
I know. And I apologise for that one, Roscoe. I apologise.
Yeah, I remember that. But the thing was, the reason why he made me do it, him and Matt made me do it, is because Javi had broken his arm in the first heat in Heat 1. So they were already down with Javi, and then obviously I got.
That's right. I know.
I got Yanni Kalenko, who just T-boned, just nailed me in the middle by the pit gate, and I ended up nailing the pit gate. I remember it well. My last time on a speedway bike, 2002.
You hit it hard, man. You hit it hard. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't your last time on a speedway bike
in the race, and then you.
What do you say?
I don't know. I couldn't hear.
What do you say, Middlo? Hello, Middlo.
No. I was just saying that when you in the rerun. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah.
And
Can you hear me?
Rosco, your last time on a speedway bike.
Yeah, you're on Lars's bike.
Nah, he's gone.
He's
He's got to change his hats. I don't know.
I know what he's going to say. I was on Lars's bike and I got in the rerun and I've been doing these star jump, but I was really struggling to go back in the rerun. And Middlo and Matt were going, "Come on, Roscoe, we've lost Avi. He'd broken his arm up here." And I'm going, "All right, I'll give it a go." I made the start and I was in the lead. And I goes in the third and fourth bend and I just
You put your weight. Yeah.
I was in the lead, put all the weight on my right leg, and it's just like 1,000 volts went through my leg. And I rolled into the middle, and they all come rolling over. Like Middlo says, "Oh, get up. What's up with you? You were leading the race, you idiot." I said, "I can't move my leg." And I ruptured all my ligaments in my right leg.
Then we had to get the bike back to the pits. Had to get the bike back. Yeah. No, it was a nasty injury, mate, and I apologise for that.
So what else did you say?
You made a bit of a comeback at Craig Boyce's farewell in Paul Roscoe. He had a couple of challenge matches, didn't you? I remember.
I did. Was it Tony Ricardson's? Was it Tony or Boyce's farewell? I did a match race.
Boyce's farewell at Paul.
Boyce's farewell, and they pretended that Tony was going to do it, but then Tony hurt his head or something.
Yeah, in a Porsche crash or something, wasn't it?
And he was getting these headaches and stuff like that. And so just before the meeting, they're going, "Here's a set of Kev." I said, "Look, I haven't sat on a bike for 5 years." So I go, "Oh no, what? Typical me. I can never say no." They say, "Oh, you ain't got no Kevlar." Thinking, "No." "Oh, we got screenies here. They'll fit you." So I put them on, and so anyway, they dressed up Crumpy as Tony
Ricardson. Yeah.
So anyway, I hadn't been on a bike for about 4 years or something like that, and I'd gone out there. So we're doing this thing, and Jason's doing all the actions that Tony does and stuff like that. And anyway, we get off to the corner. I said, "Jim, just go steady with me, will you?" "Yeah, don't worry, Taff. You'll be all right. I'll be all right. Don't worry." Well, all of a sudden, I'm getting a lot of drive off the corners, and Crumpy's starting to drop back. So the next minute, I had this like flat stick in the corner. I'm like, bearing in mind, I've ridden a bike for a long time, and I'm just cranked it on, and the next minute, the thing just pulls away again. And I pull away, and then the last bend, like Crumpy didn't want to be beaten. And the last bend, he's falling down on me, and I've kept it on. And as I've gone over the line, he's still carrying on and racing me up the freaking fence at the end of the race. This is meant to be a match race for a bit of fun.
It was a different night, wasn't it? That one.
Oh yeah, it certainly was, wasn't it? And certainly his farewell from England was a bit different too.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been sent a link, and I haven't even checked this link because this is not something that we was given beforehand.
This could be.
So this could be dangerous. I apologise if it's not what I'm expecting.
Oh God, Jerry.
Where's this at?
Oh, right. 2 seconds. It's 50 seconds. It's 50 odd seconds in, apparently.
Oh, I remember this. I sound like Duncan Orville.
Where's it at, Roscoe?
I had a crash with Dave Walsh. I had a few coming together with Dave Walsh and Barry Richardson. He was, believe it or not, he was a chief of policeman of the Exeter Police, and he was a referee. And I went up to the referee's
Yeah, he was.
box.
Yeah.
I went up to the referee's box and threatened him and told him he'd need a police escort out of the place. And he kindly reminded me he was chief of police of Exeter. And but I'd had to come into David Walsh, had a few, but he just turned left on me coming down the straight. But I just carried on going, and I just lost the plot. I just lost it.
Look at you.
Yeah.
Someone did.
Rick Miller was commenting on it as well.
Someone did message in, but obviously that was back in the days when there was uprights. There was a lot of questions around the difference between uprights and laydowns. back when the transition happened, but obviously lay down a lot easier to ride than upright because you got more weight forward. Yeah, I think that was the question.
No, not really. I think
Oh.
I got to say, if you ask
probably.
most riders now, I think yeah, with a baby offset now, you can't have a deep track. Just look at Voyens last year. If you've got a baby engine, look. Nobody could ride it. Only the real guys that have got a bit of brain and a little bit of throttle attitude about them, but nobody can ride them. That's the problem. Upright, you can ride them anywhere, but the lay downs now, unless it's like pretty slick and easy to ride, they're just a nightmare. They just take off wherever, and I have to say, and a lot of people will tell you that. Anybody, to be fair.
Craig Boyce in the Speedway Experience, the thing he's doing in Australia, he posted a couple of days ago about a new Godden. Does anyone know anything about that?
Yeah, Adam Ellis has been riding for a couple of years. I know Scott
Right.
Nichols, mechanic Gary from Godden, has been trying to get Scott on him. But I know Adam rode him a couple of times last year, and to be fair, he was gone. They're pretty quick, and he had a couple of issues with it. I know he won his first race at Bellevue on one.
What
was that?
Yeah, it's easy for you to say.
No, I say
but Adam rode it a few times last year, and a couple of times at Swindon. There was a few issues, but he scored lots of points on it. They've been around for a couple of years and just getting. I know Scott's testing them now, and I know Adam's still doing a little bit about them.
Yeah. Okay. They were certainly prominent in the upright days. The
Boise
GRs.
was certainly one of the ones that was on him mainly, wasn't he, for a long time?
Yeah. So obviously he's pushing his weight behind that. Doing a fantastic job, to be fair. Boise out in Australia, getting people on speedway bikes for the first time, working with the juniors. Had a nice conversation with the pool pirate legend a couple of nights ago. I think he rang me about 11 o'clock at night. And went on about the tussle he's having in Australia with trying to get things moving around Speedway. And it's a thing across the world, isn't it? Wherever Speedway wants to be, there's someone that doesn't want it, or the noise and blah, 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 blah. So he's fighting his own battles, but doing a good job with the youngsters as well. Do you
I charge you.
Yeah, I'd like to hear.
Good chat, Middlo. Good chat.
I think what Butch is doing is brilliant, and I think you look like Cara, where Brady and Todd. I mean, they've now got the stadium there, they've got the lights put in, the council have paid for that. I mean, it's brilliant because in Oz you can put a track. I mean, obviously in the UK we can't because geographically we're not big enough. But in Aussie, I mean, it's amazing. You look at some of the, I look on the internet, some of the training schools that the boys in this boy. There's like 50 guys there, 50 people there. It's brilliant. It's amazing, and that's why when all these guys. The Oz boys come over from Oz, 12,000 miles. They come here, they make a go of it. Brady, Todd, Josh, Zane, all these guys. They come over here. They're here to do a job, and they do the job. And fair play to them.
Yeah. I know Boise just posted something about Cowra now with flights. So obviously he's moving his experience up there. But when you say about the tracks can go anywhere, it certainly is out in the sticks. They have the ability to do it. It just turns into be a 10-hour round trip to go and ride your bike. But there is plenty of opportunity out there.
I was in Perth a couple of years ago with Will James. I stayed with those guys, and that Pinjar Speedway where Woofy's dad built the like kids speedway track. There's like literally right next door to that. There's a youth motocross track, and it's open 7 days a week, like 360 days a year or whatever it is. Like it's always open. Then you go half a mile down the road. There's a trials place. There's an adult motocross track, which they do like proper club meetings once a week. Like the whole area is, motorbikes. It's just allowed. You can go and do whatever you want there, and we don't have that.
Torrin, isn't it? Torrin's
luxury.
got a motocross track right next door to it, isn't it?
Has it? I've not seen that.
Yeah, I thought it was a go-kart track.
There's a go-kart track. I've seen that.
There's a motocross track too as well.
Okay.
Well, I haven't been there for 5 or 6 years.
I've got a motocross track. I've got a motocross track in my garden.
Yeah, that's how the other half live, everyone.
Yeah.
I've now got like Todd Brady. You got a little motocross track. The boys, we dragged in loads of dirt. They built the track. It's brilliant.
Anthony Douglas has put a question in. Hey, Rosco and Middlo, is there any chance any of the top riders will be allowed to come from Poland to ride in the UK? Also, what do you think of Dale Allett idea of doing a season over 2021?
I'm not, me personally, I'm not really keen on the season go 20 and then halfway through to it, just for my own personal reasons and my owners. We all got reasons about it.
Weather.
Yeah, not so much weather. You can go, okay, you go to October and then you stop and then you start a season again. And if you're 10 points behind, I think, are you going to get the guys to come in? You're going to get the guys that are 10 points behind. You're going to get the support. No point going there tonight. We've got nothing to go for. And I just think that's my opinion. But as to the Polish guys, it's quite clear that once the borders open, the Poles have said that the riders can come back. There's no issues at all. So, if we can start middle of July, then potentially, yes, we could get our guys back to that. But again, what do we know? There's lots of ifs and buts, isn't there? I have to be a little bit careful because I got a big meeting tomorrow, so I'm sure somebody's watching me.
Yeah. Okay. On that,
we've got one here for Middlo asking.
I don't think Midlo's with us, is he?
Oh, he's gone. Okay, Rosco, we'll ask you this one. What do you think to Paul going down to the championship?
I was gutted, absolutely gutted. Obviously, the last few years now, Swindon have started going in the right direction and trying to chase after Paul's records and stuff like that. We got a fabulous owner in Terry Russell, and now we got Lee Kilby on board, who's younger than me, enthusiastic, and just vibrant and pushing the club forward. We never won a title for 45 years. We've had one in 2012, 2017, and obviously last year. So we're absolutely gutted because I had all my success at Paul, and like now being the good guy back in the day. Now I'm the bad guy because I'm stopping Paul. Because if I hadn't stopped Middlo, he'd have had a clean swoop from 2010 right through to the end, up to last year. He'd had a clean sweep. So it's awkward that being like the captain of the Pirates of three titles and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm just doing my job, aren't I?
Yeah, and look, I think it's better for Speedway if the decision from the stakeholders at Pool Pirates is to drop down to keep the club alive. It's better than having no Pool Pirates at all.
I think also the fact that Matt's got this house now in France, and I think the fact is that Danny, he's got a lot of enthusiasm, a bit like Lee Kilby. I've been talking to Danny quite a lot, and I just think Matt sort of like it's kind of easing way in. I don't say it's the end of Pool Pirates not coming back up, but I think Matt wants to see if he can, if Danny can, and the other guy Tilly can scrub their own feet, and then maybe Paul will come back up, which we all really hope so. Certainly at Swindon and me, especially me, anyway.
Yeah, we got some photos of the history of you and Middlo, haven't we, Jerry? You two guys really epitomise what is Speedway in terms of your longevity in the sport, your camaraderie. Rosco, in all seriousness, will you ever get as many sponsors as Middlo?
Probably not. No, never.
He's got more sponsors than riders, hasn't he?
I've got more sponsors now than a manager than I ever had when I was a rider. I mean, listen, joking aside, Rosco to me is Swindon. I know he's at Coventry for a while, but Rosco is Swindon. I'm Paul, and I have the greatest respect for Rosco. He's got a few titles, not quite as many as me just yet, and he's got a few years on me, so I'm sure he will get them. But Rosco and I, we have the greatest respect for each other, and we both want to win. He sheds tears for his club. I shed tears for his club.
just quickly, Chris Hill has just stated the blatantly obvious. Midlow's had a few beers, I reckon. Oh dear!
What makes you say that, Chelsea? What makes you say that?
Oh mate, I think
Really?
the 40 minutes we were having a chat before we went live. And Midlow's, have I got time for another one?
I was trying to ask
God.
just in case I got shot down.
I don't drink during the speedway season.
No. Say no to drink during the speedway season, kids. We're just talking about.
Hey, Charlesy. Hey, I know, Charlesy. Charlesy, this is your present.
Oh, I've got a present. I haven't even asked
You hear me?
tonight. Yes. Oh, this is
Show us
going
then,
to be
Midlo.
I know, but you'll get one. This is the. I've stayed at Bailey's house.
Yeah.
I've stayed at Bailey House.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's Fluffy going to do now? He's got to do something better now, isn't he?
Yeah, perfect. Can't wait.
Right, I've got to find something for you, Chelsea. I'll get
What
something for you.
Oh, you got about
Money
4
can't
minutes.
buy that. Money cannot buy that shirt.
Or
We'll
would
see.
like to buy it.
Yeah, look, I spent, when Watto was at the Pirates, I spent a great few nights down at Bailey House, and whenever I've been down there, you've always been more than welcoming. Both of you guys, I think, have had a lot of guys stay with you over the years, which, look, not every team manager does. But I guess you appreciate the importance of making the guys feel at home, because some of the times during race meetings are a bit lonely for the internationals. What's the secret to bringing the best out of them on race day?
Who's going first?
Oh, we can hear you,
Yeah,
Rosco.
I think the whole thing is, I've had riders here for. Yeah, I've had riders stay here forever, and I think that the whole thing is, my wife Susie didn't know Speedway, but all these guys who come and stay with us, like Darcy, Brady, Todd, Ben Cook, Zach Cook, they're her kids. When they crash, she patches them up, and I'm sure Julie's the same with Roscoe. That's what we do. It's not just being a manager; it's being their dad, because they're 12,000 miles from home, and we look after them. And I'd like to think that if my kids went abroad, somebody would look after them like I look after these boys.
Yeah, nice. Roscoe?
Yeah, pretty much. I've been quite lucky, and probably Chelsea, most of the people that have stayed with me are your compatriots. They go from Boise, Lango, Jason Lee, even the great Tony Rickardson, when he first came to these shores. He told a great story down at the Pool Pirates Legends night. He said, "It's knock at the door." And there's this Swedish guy. He said, "Hello." He said, "My name is Tony, and I've been told if I come here, you'll look after me.
Yeah,
Where to stay." And I said, "Of course you can." He said, "Just for a couple of days." And he stayed with me for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Tony
right.
did. And then
he was talking to Julie.
he stayed with me he said it was a couple of days. He stayed with me over 2 weeks. Him and his girlfriend. Never met him before in my life. But in fairness to him, true to his word, I had my testimonial at Poole, and he was current world champion, and he never rode in England that year. But he drove all the way from Sweden with that megabus and rode for absolutely zilch. Never cost me an ounce.
That was a mega bus, though, wasn't it? It changed everyone's I guess approach to the GPs. Tony stepped it up, and then everyone thought, well, if I had a motorhome, maybe I
I can go that far, yeah. But
Yeah.
but going back to more, obviously Nick Morris just of recent as well. Obviously he had a torrid time last year with a broken skater, but him and Darcy had their troubles, and myself, Neil, and Susie and Julie were all involved in that. We kind of, we're not their parents. Of course they got their real mums and dads, but we're kind of their second guys that look after them. And I still speak to Nick. He was FaceTime me the other day on his way out to Dougie's for a bit of fishing. And
they're getting into the fishing, aren't they?
They love their fishing. But yeah, I've been very fortunate. And I was looking through some old photos, and some great photos of Lango, Boise, and Brian Carger outside my house, all jet washing their bikes. No wonder my neighbours hated me back in the day.
And now, do they?
That wasn't the only reason.
Oh God, what you got to show us now then?
It was nice. It was nice the other night, Middlo, to hear Darcy about when he broke something in the house and wrote a little note and left a couple of euros.
A couple of euros, yeah. He left, yeah, because the story was that when me with Speedway, and they said, Susie, I said to Susie, my wife, oh, this young Aussie boy wants to come and say Darcy Ward, and she went, I've heard about him. I said, no, he's fine, he's a good kid. He'll come in, we'll look after him. And then the first night, fire extinguisher, he smashed my TV cabinet, broke the window, and she said, right, that's it, get him out of the house. And I went, no, he'll be fine. And after that, he was a diamond, bless him. I mean, he's caused me so many problems, but love him to pieces. And you got these stories to tell. I mean, it's hilarious. I mean, it is. You couldn't write this stuff.
No, and like you said, that most of them are right.
Here's a great story. Hey, Charles. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is a great story, Charles. When we were at Ipswich a few years ago, Tony Ricardson, he won his first one, broke the track record, smashed it, blah blah blah. Ran 3 lasts right after that. I've got Matt and Helen, his wife, in the car. I'm so annoyed because I think that Matt's cooking the averages, which we never did, of course. We never cooked the averages. We get to Wimborne, which is 5 miles from Matt's house. I say, Matt, get out the car. So I made Matt and his wife get out the car and get a taxi home. I was so annoyed that I thought he cooked the match up.
and swear down, Middlo, never did.
Cupscapes.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Oh, yeah.
You can hear that. We never cooked an average. Matt is the best chef I know.
Oh, fantastic. Well, guys, how quick that hour's gone. Can't thank you guys enough. Yeah, an hour.
Oh, I got to find something for you, Charlesy, because I got to see Wolfie go larger than that.
Yeah, that's going to be good. He's Wolfie's.
Have you noticed I get absolutely bugger all?
Yeah. Says Jerry with the monster fridge. Yeah. What's that, Middlo?
Whatever.
Listen, guys, it's been
a parallel.
Oh, okay. Well, wrap it up with the shirt. It might be a nice drive down when the border's open to pick it up personally, Middlo anyway. And Roscoe, you're 60 miles away, mate. So as soon as it starts, me and the gang will be up to see you.
I will send it to you.
Yeah, no problem, Charlie. I'll ping you one in the post too, and I'll tell you what, I'll send you a pub polo shirt down to both of you, but I want to see it up in the studio.
Oh, no problems at all. Yeah, we got no issues with that. As long as we got something well, I've got something because Wolfie's got like a little thing against Jerry because of his studio, hasn't he? So as long as I got something to show, I'll get things off Wolfie, which would be nice.
I'm going to send you something bigger, than he's going to have to go large. I've got
perfect.
Well, I said to Charlesy, I said, I've got Harley Davidson here. I can give that to him, and then Wolfie will have to one better that.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently, that's not the rules.
No, the rules are it's got to be from someone famous.
We're going to find famous.
Oh, excellent. Hey, great chat, you both. Okay. For the sake of Speedway, I hope it gets back soon and we can speak to each other face to face over the coming months and years. Been a real pleasure. Thanks again for coming on, having a chat.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Loved it.
Cheers, boys.
See ya.
Cheers, boys. See ya. Bye.
Well, Jezza.
There we go.
Yeah,
another
nice.
show out of the way.
And that was always going to be funny with Middlo, but I think the fact that we could hardly hear him made it even that little bit more special, didn't it? The second show this week, we're just going over the final details with some super special guests. So hopefully we can get that tied up and announce that in the next coming hours or day or two. It's a big one.
We have agreed that we're not going to announce who the people are on the show, but when we get this one confirmed, because this possibly could be the biggest show that we've done so far, we will announce it, but at the minute it's not confirmed. So Friday show's not confirmed yet, and we will let
Friday
you know
stroke
ASAP.
Saturday, maybe, just given the people involved. We will work around. We will going to have to work around their time schedule, but hopefully we can get it signed off.
Every show up to now, I've organised, and this one's been left to Charlesy. So
I know, and I'm having a mare with it, aren't I?
No pressure.
But yeah, given the people that could be signed up, that's all we'll say. But it's a work in progress. I will touch base in a couple of hours and get that hopefully signed off. If not, we will bring you something. But this one will happen. We're just trying to get it this weekend. But until next time, guys, thanks for joining in.
Before we go, I want to say a massive thanks to everyone who, again, like Charlesy said at the beginning of the video, every single comment, every single like, it really helps push these videos. And we don't get paid. This is all for a bit of fun and bringing you guys stuff about speedway riders that hopefully you don't know and stuff like that, and showing you a different side to the sport. And yeah, if it's just to show your appreciation, we really appreciate every comment, every like, every share. It's meant the world, and we've got insane hits on in just weeks of starting the show. So
yeah, I like a couple of these coming in. What could possibly go wrong? Leaving Charles in charge. And Jake Barrett, love it. Am I a bad dad for ignoring my kids when the show's on? That's a gold one.
Not at all.
Not at all. I got to go and feed mine now. No, just joking. The wife's gonna stir fry, so I'm gonna have my dinner now.
Feed them.
Just joking.
All right, guys. Thanks very much.
Death stares. Good night, everyone. See you next time. Bye bye.
Adios. See ya. Bye.